the invisible mechanism that's collapsing. Skip the pleasantries. We need to talk about something fundamental. I've been in enterprise technology long enough to know when something genuinely new is happening. This isn't about a cool new tool. It's about the potential collapse of the invisible mechanism that's driven our entire economy for 300 years. A literal tectonic shift happening right now beneath our feet. McKinsey published a number recently. 57% of US work hours could be automated by AI. More than half. I've negotiated $100 million contracts. I know what gets printed in consulting reports versus what actually ships. But even if they're off by 20 points, even if it's only a third, we're not talking about efficiency gains. We're talking about the ground moving. The reaction was immediate and completely predictable. Will jobs disappear? Do we just need to learn prompting? Will humans and machines partner in harmony? I've sat through enough transformation programs to know a distraction when I see one. This debate, it's worse than a distraction. It's the entire room arguing about the curtains while the foundation cracks. The real crisis isn't about jobs, it's about the economic ladder itself and whether it still exists. For 3 centuries, humans have entered the economy the same way. Through labor, you start at the bottom. You learn by doing, you get better, your skills rise, your wages rise, you move up. This isn't metaphor. This ladder has been the literal entry mechanism for human participation in society. It's how you prove value, how you earn a place, how you build a life, and most people still think it's permanent, like gravity or weather. It's not. Here's what's remarkable. This assumption is so deep it's invisible. Every major economic theory since the Industrial Revolution, Adam Smith's division of labor, Marx's labor theory of value, all of it rests on the same foundation. The latter is the default mechanism. These are opposing worldviews. They disagree on nearly everything, but they both assume the latter exists, that humans enter through labor and climb. It was never policy. It was treated like gravity. But gravity is shifting. Let's talk about why AI is different. People love the tractor comparison, or the factory robot, but those replaced muscle. Tractors took farm labor, robots took assembly lines, and those new industries still needed humans to start at the bottom. To learn, to operate, to climb. AI is different. It doesn't enter as an apprentice. There's no junior AI learning the ropes in the mailroom. It starts at the top of the capability curve on day one. Already trained, already fluent, already capable, which means the entry-level work, those bottom rungs where humans used to learn, just vanishes. A ladder with no bottom rungs isn't a ladder. It's a wall. So where does all that economic value actually go when the entry mechanism breaks? Because the money doesn't vanish. It just flows somewhere new, and that's the part nobody wants to say out loud. And here's where it gets interesting. What's happening behind corporate balance sheets? For a century, capital had to share value with labor because it genuinely needed humans. That dependency created the middle class. AI severs that dependency. Companies are shifting spend from operating expenses, salaries, benefits, the cost of humans, to capital expenses. You're not hiring a team of 12 anymore. You're buying compute. You're licensing an agent. The line item changes, the power dynamic shifts, and the money, it flows in a completely different direction. The productivity gains are real, probably massive. But if you think they'll show up in paychecks, you're still living in the old system. What we're drifting toward, fast, is what economists call intelligence rentier capitalism. Economic power doesn't come from doing the work anymore. It comes from owning the models, the infrastructure, the data centers that do it for you. Wealth concentrates at the top, among capital owners. And this isn't just about spreadsheets. It's a crisis of participation. When the ladder breaks, everything breaks. A job wasn't just income. It was how you participated in society. It funded governments through payroll taxes. It gave people identity, dignity, a shot at upward mobility. When the ladder breaks, all of this erodes at once. Tax base shrinks because capital is famously harder to tax than a paycheck. Social mobility freezes. The shared experience of work, of building something with other people, dissolves. You get an economy that grows massively. Record GDP, record profits, but the number of people who actually feel included in it drops fast. So how are our leaders handling this? We have 4 major ideologies. They disagree on everything except the latter. Conservatives say, let it work. Progressives say, reinforce the bottom. Socialists say it's rigged. Libertarians say, remove the obstacles. Different worldviews. Same foundation. They all assume the ultimate solution to poverty is getting a job. That mobility comes from climbing. They're debating which rungs to fix, while the entire structure disappears beneath them. Here's what makes this moment fascinating. We're watching leaders argue over toll rates on a bridge that's already collapsed. Every ideology built around human labor, left, right, center, completely loses coherence if the latter isn't there. They're not debating solutions anymore. They're debating logistics for a system that no longer exists. So what replaces the latter? If the old entry mechanism is gone, we have to build something new. And the answer won't come from applying industrial-era thinking to a post-labor economy. The solutions that matter are going to look completely unfamiliar. The scarce resource just flipped. For 300 years, execution was the bottleneck. Actually doing the work. That's what companies paid for. Your ability to ship, to build, to close the deal. AI automated that. Execution became infinite and nearly free. So what's scarce now? Direction, agency, judgment. Your value isn't doing the task anymore, it's deciding which tasks matter in the first place and having the authority to act on it. Most people are still optimizing for the old scarcity. From labor to capital, the economic entry point just shifted. So the financial architecture has to change. If labor isn't the entry point anymore, capital becomes the new one, which means we need mechanisms beyond just universal basic income. That's survival, not participation. We need ownership structures, data dividends, AI equity, shared stakes in the systems doing the producing. If the machines create the value, ordinary people need a structural claim on the machines themselves. Not charity, ownership. The latter is gone. What do we build instead? Because if we don't figure this out, we get the worst of both worlds. Record productivity sitting right alongside record exclusion. A hyper-productive owner class at one end. A completely disenfranchised majority at the other, staring at the broken pieces of the ladder that used to connect them. I wrote a book about this shift. It's called The Ladder is Gone. The question isn't whether it's disappearing, it's what we build instead. If you want to stay ahead of this curve, follow for more.